Hey there, Fast Break Breakfast listeners. A heads up about this recording. We recorded this in the gym on a portable field recorder. We had to stop once because a mariachi band came walking through where we were, and then the SD card filled up and it cuts off abruptly. So just a little heads up there, and the audio is pretty noisy. Maybe not what you're accustomed to, but hopefully you will enjoy this episode. Thanks. All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast, NBA podcast. My name is Keane, here with my buddies Joey Devine.
Hi.
From the Roundball Rock podcast. Sean Keane.
What up?
Also from the Roundball Rock podcast.
And a mariachi band.
And Josh Androsky.
I brought the mariachi band, sorry.
Who is sitting slightly off mic. He has to share a microphone with Joey. Josh, what's the name? Are you ready for some football? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Is that coming back?
Maybe,
for
probably
the football
not.
season?
I lost
okay.
this. I'm formally announcing that a hard drive is gone, and I lost pretty much everything that I was going to use for that. So, who knows?
That's breaking news. It's a Fast Break Breakfast exclusive.
Also, it's called "I Am Ready for Some Football." I am ready.
He's
so checked out on it. He didn't even
correct me.
Correct you on the title of his podcast.
I mean, he meant my podcast, so why be rude?
Also, you're unready for some football now with your hard drive gone.
Yeah, I guess I'm not ready.
I have a very good view from my hotel room of the new stadium. They're building a giant stadium in Las Vegas. That's all I got.
We're excited about that because we're from the Bay Area, and normally on Raider games, you'd see Raider fans like just walking the length of these BART trains, the monorail system in the Bay Area, just chanting Raiders over and over again. And now that's going to be like a Southwest Airlines flight. So it'll be great. Dudes in armor. Yeah.
I, for one, am very upset. As listeners might know, I'm very political, and I hate the gentrification that's going on in Las Vegas of all of the clowns from Circus Circus and the knights from Excalibur and the pirates from Treasure Island being gentrified by this new stadium. It's a mess.
Well, that's a good angle. So to paint the picture of where we are and why there's a mariachi band nearby, we are sitting on the floor of a concourse. We thought about taking a Yahoo Bounce studio. I don't know what that is, but there are some gentlemen eating there. There also was a Panini card signing station reserved for NBA players and NBA wannabes. I think we could have sat there and no one would have said anything.
There were only 2 chairs, though.
So we're recording on the floor. John lent me his Zoom recorder. I wasn't sure.
We're recording right next to, as was just revealed, a closed room that is full of chairs. There's nothing but really nice chairs in that room, but their door's closed, and none of us are going to open it.
There's a storage room beside us labeled pantry, full of all the things we need, but we're sitting on the floor. So I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get this recorder through security because you can only bring in very small bags. They have to be in the clear plastic bags, very sensitive about security, and I thought the case might be a little large. Coming in through security, I think I'm wearing the Boban NBA logo parody shirt. I think the shirt helped me.
Because they think you're
the
official.
security guard thought it was an NBA shirt. So they're like, please open up the case, the carrying case for the Zoom recorder. And they're like, what is that?
And you were like, a gun.
Right. So no, I said, what is it? And she's like, she went over and got another guy. She's like, hey, come here. Can this go in? And he's like, what is that? I'm like, it's an audio recorder and microphones. And he looks at me and he goes, are you with the NBA? Yes, I am. It's for podcasting. He's like, great, come on in. So I think the Boban shirt really got us through.
You can also say that if you get pulled over by a cop, too. Just, I'm with the NBA,
you say
and they have to let you go.
Or I'm a proud boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that works, too.
Don't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Only say that to cops.
Oh, okay.
That was for the Josh Androsky fans. Anyway, breakfast, guys. We're in Vegas.
You guys have been here a couple of days. I've been here also a few days. Does anyone have any good breakfasts that they want to share?
We did eat prime rib at like 5 in the morning.
5:30 in the morning
on Sunday. So that's technically breakfast, right?
Yeah. So Sean, Joey, and Josh, you guys stay in Old Vegas.
We love it.
Where are y'all staying?
The El Cortez.
The El Cortez, as always.
It's
because
the best.
of the prime rib special.
$12.95 prime rib special, 24 hours a day
at Craps.
Seagulls, yeah.
At Craps last night, Josh was telling me that you guys, coming into the weekend, had set maybe a goal of 10 prime ribs.
Where you were not going to hit the goal. Look, the bet was the under. Take the under on the amount of prime ribs we ate, but mostly because like I forgot about how little you actually eat in Vegas and at what weird times. Like I think all we've eaten today were the hotel gave me an apple. So I had an apple, and then also 3 or 4 handfuls of McDonald's French fries. That's all I've eaten.
I feel like that is the weird thing, especially if you're attending the games. If you're spending the solid like 10 hours at the gym, it is that nightmare of like I normally wake up 10 a.m., get a cup of coffee, maybe a banana, and it is like a normal day. If someone's like, "Hey, you want an apple?" No, I don't want an apple. In Vegas, it's like,
thank God.
It's like playing Fallout. You're like, I need this one type of thing just to carry me through. I got to have something for the energy. But so, like, then I try to get like a big, as much food as I can eat, a lunch before I enter the gates. And then it maybe 12, maybe 12:30, and then there's no food until like 11 because the game's in at 10. Although technically, and maybe this is just I'm getting jaded with Summer League. The games have been boring.
This is the worst Summer League
I've
ever
been
been
early.
to.
I used to really be snobby at the other people, the media and the faux media like myself, who would leave early. I'm like, you're here to watch basketball and to network.
You came all the way here.
Yeah, you flew to Las Vegas.
This is far and away the least basketball I've ever watched at Summer League this year.
Man, so because
we've been coming late and leaving early,
but because of like the NBA moratorium where a lot, like 10 of the first and second round draft picks couldn't play with their teams because the trades weren't official till July 6th. And now teams are load managing Summer League.
Yeah.
The Suns are like, we don't want our rookies to play. They haven't practiced enough.
7 of the top 12 picks are not playing.
And Jarrett Culver, the number 6 pick.
They shut him down for no reason.
They were like, hey, we're not going to let him play so he can get acclimated to the Timberwolves. Why don't you play basketball
with some of the Timberwolves?
That seems like a really great way to acclimate yourselves. So the
Anger siren, everybody.
Let's have a little mariachi break.
Trying to drown out your truth.
This is pretty excellent.
So it is Noche Latino today.
Noche Latina
at Summer League today.
I think this is going to work fine. We'll have the mariachi in the background going on. My breakfast today was I've been going to this. They have like a fast food Thai chicken. Hey, let's take a break.
SeatGeek can help you get tickets to see any of these draft prospects. Why should you use SeatGeek instead of someone else? Well, saves you time and saves you money. Two of the more important commodities in our lives these days. They aggregate ticket selling sites together, so you don't have to go to 8 sites and then, I'm going to look at the 9th one now because I'm not quite sure. I was totally that way, of course. And then they also rank every ticket based on value. So you look at the section you want to sit in, find that big green dot, the darker green, the better. You'll start to experience just endorphins when you see that green dot and know that you're getting an awesome deal on the ticket. I used SeatGeek to go to a Bucks Wizards game, got awesome seats there for my fiance and me. And not only sporting events, but also concerts, comedy, every type of live event that has a ticket. So the way to get started with them, download the SeatGeek app and enter that familiar promo code
Fast Break.
By using that code to get $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. That's promo code
Fast Break.
For $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Let them know that you came from us.
Fast break and another break. Fast break. All right, we've returned after deciding
a mariachi break.
After deciding the oncoming rush of the mariachi band was too much to overcome. Don't remember where we were.
I think you were describing your own breakfast?
Oh, my own breakfast, yes. So I'm staying in the very luxurious Cosmopolitan Hotel. They got a nice collection of actually kind of fast food.
Oh, yeah?
They've borrowed from some of the most gentrified, culture appropriated
Thai food?
eateries. They have Thai food.
Uh-huh.
They have Nashville's own hot chicken.
Hot chicken,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Hattie B's is there.
Ramen? Are we talking ramen?
They have some Portland Thai food eatery from a very white man. No problem. I just like food. I like that it comes fast. And I had some kind of like sticky wings, kind of smelly, kind of left a funk on my fingers. That you got the waft. I was like, oh, this is my breakfast. That's fine. So, does anyone have? You guys are all in primer breakfast. Is that all we got?
Well,
Basically.
yeah.
I'm not upset by it.
Oh, yeah, that was delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, Hash House a Go-Go at the Plaza, which Joey will tell you about why not to gamble there. I'll tell you about why to eat there. Everybody there is like, every waitress is like 59 and named Flo and just like calls you sugar and means it. And
Perfect.
then the portions are huge. They fry bacon into their waffles and have like a sage fried chicken and waffle that is pretty fucking great.
That is good. That's actually been one of the ones I've been wanting to do. The Hash House a Go-Go
It's really good.
because of the whole breakfast gimmick.
The portions are gigantic, too.
That's what we're talking about. All right, so after our breakfast, we move to our breakfast in bed apologies. I didn't really prep Sean, Joey, or Josh. I did want to apologize in the last show of Fast Break Breakfast. I besmirched Jeremy Lamb, making fun of some of the transactions that had occurred. Even though Jeremy Lamb signed an okay contract with the Indiana Pacers, I said he was a 35% shooter. That was from three-point. I was thinking maybe he was sub 40. He was well over 40% over on field goals. So a mistake by me. So I apologize for that. Do you guys have anything you need to make right?
Yeah, we at the Roundball Rock headquarters have not had time to record a podcast in a week.
Now, granted, I think that is somewhat Kawhi Leonard's fault for announcing his decision at like 10 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
So we're only going to be a little bit late. Well, we didn't have a Patreon, but it was like the 4th of July plus Kawhi plus Summer League has really thrown us off our rhythm.
I think Kawhi's desire for anonymity and lack of coverage, he probably did that around your podcast release schedule.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and
He's
it's
like,
also-
Friday night, the Roundball Rocker's already done. They're probably traveling. Yeah.
No. It's also how you like dump an unflattering news story is you release it at the very end of the day on Friday so no one can talk about it, which is like, it's very Kawhi-esque. It's the opposite of the decision, like nationally televising your thing. It's like, actually, I'm going to wait till everyone's asleep, drop this bombshell, and then, go back into my bunker.
Yeah, it's like how Shia LaBeouf would announce he was going to rehab.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, the economic forecast is 15% worse.
Yeah.
4:59 p.m. Friday afternoon.
So, I talked about it a little bit when a little solo pod on Saturday, but I'd like to hear your take, Sean and Joey, from the Roundball Rock podcast. As fans of the dominant Golden State Warriors dynasty, and now you've seen that kind of things are getting shaky, the end of an empire. How did you think? What did you think about the Kawhi news, about the Paul George trade?
Oh, it fucking ruled, dude. I would have rather Kawhi stayed in Toronto just because I've never met a Raptors fan other than Aubrey that I didn't like. No, but I feel like I did. But the Clippers are hilarious. Going to the Clippers is the funniest thing in the world. Like
we've set up this situation where the most downtrodden franchises, like the most recent NBA champs, are the Warriors, the Cavs, and the Raptors.
Yeah.
And now the Clippers are a super team.
Yeah.
It's
And the Bucks are good. I know the Bucks won with Lou Alcindor / Kareem back in the day, but
they'd won, I think, one playoff series since they fired Don Nelson or something like that. I mean, 1 year they won playoffs. I personally think that Kawhi Leonard is a coward for joining a super team. I'm parroting what I've heard. But also, I think the Oklahoma City Thunder got the most you could ever possibly get in a deal like that.
Yeah. And they get to trade Russell Westbrook now, which is amazing.
That was I mean, I said it, but I haven't heard it other places. I feel like that was the slightly another win for the Thunder.
Yes,
you got all those
absolutely
picks,
doing them a favor,
and you got permission to get rid of Russell Westbrook.
You got Russell Westbrook to demand a trade, which is just incredible.
So the price that the Clippers paid, which it's like 7 first-round picks, if you include the swaps, was that price paid because Jerry West understands in his smoke-filled cabal of rich men who run the world, he knows the planet is ending in 3 years, and he just doesn't care.
Yeah, so Ballmer's new, and this is real, Ballmer's new arena plan is just the world's largest insurance fraud. They're going to take out the world's largest insurance thing, and Jerry West knows because he's helping engineer it. The new arena will be under the ocean. The last pick swap here.
No, I agree with you, Josh, and I think the drilling for this new arena is what has caused the recent earthquakes.
Yeah, and so I mean, you hear the earthquakes are the thundering horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yes,
it has begun. I don't know. This is a podcast so you can't see, but my eyes have rolled into the back of my head. And the whites of my eyes are now completely black, like Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit, which means the prophecy is true.
Josh is actually levitating right now.
Yeah, and
he's
actually,
a little bit off the ground.
Yeah, drilling for the arena and causing earthquakes also convinced Paul George he was so happy in Oklahoma City he needed something to replace fracking in his life.
That's true. Yeah, and I also feel like Pat Riley is in these same, I don't know if it's the Bilderberg group or something else. Pat Riley is also in these same meetings, and they're like, oh, do I need to create a little cap space to get rid of Myers or whoever? Like, oh, Clippers, here, take another first-round pick. What do I care?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be here in 3 years. I will take Russ Westbrook and Jimmy Butler. Who cares about the future? We got 2-3 years tops.
Look, Pat Riley's not in the Illuminati, and the reason why is because he was kicked out for body-shaming Henry Kissinger.
See, I think it's the other way around. I think what's happening right now is the NBA is actually running a secret war against analytics Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's time to eradicate the
scourge
the galaxy
of the
brain. Cap space is the best thing in the world.
The dunked on hive mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and then you distract people because then instead of getting like live tweeting basketball games and like snarkily getting angry at substitution patterns in November, instead they've got to just keep track of all these pick swaps and maintain their spreadsheets, and it kind of takes them out of the game.
Well, and you see it's these old GMs who are dumping their picks. Right now, the Grizzlies, they're getting all this universal praise among this NBA intelligentsia for acquiring assets. It's because our GM is 30. He's not allowed in these meetings. He doesn't know the world's ending. Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah. You want a 2024 pick? Sure, brother. Yeah, you can have it. I want to think like Jerry West when he was making the deal. Like, he might have been like, Sam Presti is just for the Thunder, just asking for whatever he can get. He might have been like, I want 7 first-round draft picks, and Jerry West is like, you can have 14.
Yeah.
And the NBA is like, no, you actually can't do that. People will figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, people will figure it out that maybe something's up if we're doing that.
I mean, I love nothing more in sports than an owner approaching death who just pushes all his chips in. And then, like, a bunch of people that are 60 years younger than him are supposed to be, like, there's always a narrative about they want to win it for the billionaire.
Right.
And anyway, I think Jerry West has tricked Steve Ballmer into trying to get Jerry West another ring.
Don't you think Steve Ballmer is pretty easy to trick? You're just like, Steve, look, that light is flashing. He's like, oh, my God, that light is flashing.
Yeah, he's like, we'll make it work. We'll figure it out. We'll get some picks somewhere.
So then Danny Ainge, with all of his, health issues, just holding on to his assets is a very, like, bury me with my money.
Exactly, yeah.
The inverse.
It's going to be a golden Chipotle pyramid.
I guess what other NBA news I thought was interesting was as part of the Thunder fire sale, part of the Thunder giveaway, they got rid of Jeremy Grant overnight. I thought that one was kind of weird. That's not like a fun guy you might want to keep. He's under contract for another season. He has a player option in the year after that, but they dumped him. Like
the Nuggets got him for free.
They got him for it would be like the 20th pick and worse next year probably.
Yeah.
I feel like Thunder fans who were adapting, at least Thunder writers who were like kind of rolling with it, like, oh, that stinks, we lost Paul George, but we got all these assets, now we can trade Russell Westbrook. I think they all kind of wanted to keep Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
He's like one of the more popular players.
He's a dunked on hive mind player for sure.
Yeah.
Because he's switchy.
He is switchy.
He's the switchiest of the Grants, that's for sure.
We got a
has there been a switchier Grant? He's actually switchier than Jerian Grant, which is crazy. He seems like a perfect addition to the Nuggets. It's like what they've been hoping Trey Lyles would become forever.
I love him on the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Love him.
But they've still weirdly kind of don't have a small forward anymore. Still,
Wancho, baby. Wancho's going to do it.
I think Jeremy Grant can start at the 3, and that's no big deal.
Especially with Millsap, because he's like...
Millsap is so smart, and then have him slide down. I mean, they got to move... They got to move Barton for something worthwhile if they're going to stay in like this echelon of like the elite.
The world's largest dolly just drove by us.
I think the dolly was made of cement and was carrying cement.
Yeah, if they're gonna stay in that elite race, I think it's funny because like maybe 5 teams so far this offseason have felt like they might, like their hardest core fans were thinking they were going to win the title.
Yeah.
Like there was like 4 days where the Blazers were like, you know what? We're the best team.
A lot of people I knew were mad when Kawhi signed with the Clippers because they are like diehard Blazers people, and they were like, this means Dame's
was our year.
not winning a finals this year.
Well,
and it took every like bone in my body not to be like, you guys thought Dame Lillard was going to win the finals this year? Like, you know the Golden State Warriors, who are not going to win the finals this year, still have the same team that swept you in the Western Conference Finals, right? They still have the same guys who were the problem for you.
Like it's not like they're going to, like Quinn Cook was the one that made it happen. No.
So,
but also... Blazer fans, until like everyone knew the Kawhi decision was holding up everything, but there were all these Blazer fans who were like, the Lakers only have 3 guys. You can't win a basketball game with 3 guys. And then Kawhi made his decision and they signed 7 players in 24 hours, and Boogie Cousins was like an afterthought.
The Lakers team, I think they're going to be good this year, but they have made a hilarious basketball team once again. They signed Grizzlies legend Avery Bradley. So they now have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Danny Green and Avery Bradley.
You just need the Lakers have something in their contract to have just like a completely unlikable guard, and so now that Lance isn't coming back, they had to replace him with arguably more upsetting person in Avery Bradley.
They did. LeBron fed Chris Haynes this juicy morsel.
He's a starting point guard.
He's going to be a starting point guard.
Which we realized what that's about.
Yeah, that is about making sure that Mike Conley Jr. never becomes an all-star.
Because if he's listed at point guard now, Mike Conley cannot get in.
Suddenly there's 5 guys ahead of him.
Mike Conley is still in the Western Conference. He wasn't getting in anyway.
Right, but
those Jazz fans would be so mad if Mike Conley made the All-Star game over Donovan Mitchell's first All-Star game, or Rudy Gobert, 2-time All-NBA center Rudy Gobert never made the All-Star game.
Yeah.
But I just know that LeBron was looking at Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and thinking like, I got to start this All-Star game.
Yeah.
Like I can't let Clipper Nation dominate the All-Star game.
So the Lakers are like 5 deep at the 2 guard. They're 4 deep at power forward. They have JaVale and Boogie. And Rondo.
And Alex
and Caruso.
Yeah.
And Quinn Cook, who is terrible.
Yeah.
Our friend Julian, who's a diehard Lakers fan, was like, but he's also one of the only rational Lakers fans I've ever met, was like, God, I really hope Caruso's the starting point.
Yeah, and I think everyone is.
Because by the stats, I think Rondo and Bradley were two of the worst players in the entire NBA
Right.
last
Their
year.
value over replacement, the player
they're
impact
only-
plus minus.
Kevin Knox is like the only player worse than
And he's
him.
19.
Yeah.
And Bradley was also bad the year before.
Speaking of Kevin Knox, did you guys have a chance to see Kevin Knox, the return play yet in RJ Barrett?
I have.
Maple Jordan 2.
It's been a bummer.
Because Barrett, like, you watch him, and just as long as he's not touching the ball or doing anything, when he's just running and standing and looking tall and well-built and running fast.
And
you're
kind of
like,
rebounding. He seems big.
But then when he, like, dribbles or tries to shoot or make a decision, it's like, oh, no. Like, Wiggins looked better than this.
Oh, yeah.
100%. He has like that stiff Harrison Barnes body, like
He has Harrison Barnes back, as you
without
said.
like at least Harrison Barnes was like smart enough not to be like, I shouldn't dribble with this stiff move until someone teaches me how.
I remember feeling so relieved after watching Harrison Barnes his second year in North Carolina that there was one of those fun welcome to the team rookie things where they were all impressed that he had a foam roller in his trunk at all times. And I was like, thank God, because you have a much older man's back.
So the problem with the RJ Barrett, we know not to write off a person because of a bad summer league. Trae Young had a lot of trouble hitting shots, although
Trae Young was good
Trae
last
Young
year.
was
He
still
just
setting
didn't
up
make
everyone
shots.
and
Trae Young was still
But, like,
maybe the best player in summer league last year.
Laurie Markkinen was terrible
Yeah.
at summer. There's a lot of
Steph
examples.
Curry fucking
Steph Curry
sucked in
was
summer
terrible.
league.
But his is a little more problematic because the draft analysis for RJ Barrett that I read was like, one, this guy sucks. This guy has tunnel vision. This guy takes terrible shots. This guy doesn't have feel. And then for that to be like the criticisms coming in, and then him to come out and be like, oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, it turns out
like,
that
wow.
was right.
Like, wow.
Well, I read his stats were terrible, and I read a justification of why his shooting was so bad, and it was that Duke didn't have a lot of shooting around him. But the counter to that is he had Zion Williamson taking just a little bit of pressure off him.
Yeah.
Like the best college basketball season since Tim Duncan. And, and RJ Barrett couldn't find space there.
All I'll say is when we moved down in that game to like pretty close to courtside, and we got to see James Dolan harumph in real life, like just big harumphy energy, fucking arms folded, shoulders slumped. It was a sight to see, and somebody yelled, "Sell the team, Dolan!" And he just sunk even further.
He's so impotent not being able to throw people out of the Thomas and Mack Center.
Do you think we will get a song called Maple Mamba Blues from JD and the Straight Shot in the next 2 years?
No.
Yeah. He's not plugged into those nicknames.
So
It'll be more like, I should have known part 2. I should have trusted the scouts.
So you guys were talking about the end of like the basketball nerd, the coveting, the over estimation of draft assets.
Well, it's like, look at what's happened to the Celtics. Like,
oh yeah,
the
it
Celtics.
passed.
Look. And guess what? The guy who actually made a move and gave up some stuff won a title last year.
Yeah.
Well, one thing you can see this year particularly, Summer League is a collection of the graveyard of the hinky picks.
Oh,
where you just see like
Hollis Thompson is still playing.
Andrzej Paszeznik is...
and just you look at, the guys they took 2 years ago, they had like 6 or 7 picks, and they picked all the wrong guys. Like, they got rid of Sterling Brown, but they kept the weird Latvian 7-footer.
Yeah.
And...
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at least, the Thunder are I'm pretty convinced they're going to make their own Godfather pick offer and get someone like
Bradley Beal.
He's the most logical guy.
They really should.
But yeah, just the idea of just acquiring picks to no end.
Yeah.
And the idea that, like, when you have 7 picks in a draft, that doesn't work with a real roster.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, well, the Celtics really lost in the fact that they got to the 2019 draft and still had all their picks.
Yeah.
And it was like worst case scenario. The Kings were totally okay last year. No one saw that coming. So they ended up with just like whatever, the 13,
like
the 21, the 23 or something.
And now it's like, they got some other young guys, and they're going to be, best case, 4th in the East.
But also, like,
I think best case I'm a little higher on the Celtics.
But also,
I don't
though,
trust
like,
the Sixers. I'm a Sixers
look
hater.
At cap space. Like, what is cap space doing for a lot of these teams? Like,
For the Grizzlies,
teams-
it's acquiring
Sure.
Andre Iguodala, Finals
sure,
MVP.
but like, a lot of the best free agents went to teams without cap space, like the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat.
We now have the hard-capped Miami Heat, who are going to have difficulty trading for Russell Westbrook just because of the hard cap, because of the Jimmy Butler signing trade.
And again, that's going to keep the nerds occupied doing some cap calculations.
Everyone, I mean, the Warriors have rightly been praised for Lakeup paying the luxury tax, but I think part of like that D'Angelo Russell deal was like, we'd be hard capped. Give me some of that.
Yeah, the most we can pay in luxury tax is like $15 million.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me some of that. We'll do that.
Like, oh, no, Kevin Durant's gone. What will we do with this extra $150 million?
So, like, the opposite of these guys who don't care about, like, the assets or who don't care as much about the assets is the Grizzlies, my team, who have been getting, like, all the draft nerd Twitter losing their minds. They are more excited about John Conchar than they are about John Morant. They're saying, like, the three best players in the draft last year, Zion Williamson, Brandon Clark, John Conchar, who is a 6'6" white shooting guard who does not shoot.
Well, he led the college. Every like advanced stat that he was the tops in, and he's like a really good rebounder for a 6'5", like Division II.
Oh my God,
guy. But yeah, he has like a crazy rebound rate. His he
got 6 steals in the game the other day,
and his efficiency numbers are off the charts. And looking at it, it was like, man, definitely no one ever recruited this guy. But yeah, he can probably be on an NBA bench for a few years.
I saw one of the Stepien writers say John Conchar is clearly a top 5 asset on the Grizzlies roster, and I was like, "Whoa, brother!" Like, I mean, I'm all excited for like this guy could turn into a 10-year NBA vet.
Sure,
like he could become the next Brian Cardinal.
That is his ceiling,
that's
exactly.
Cool. And I am doing a race-to-race comparison. John Conchar is not white, if you could not tell by the tone of our voices. But
he is,
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's on a 2-way contract, and I'm excited about it, but it's only because I'm like a hardcore, diehard, white nerd.
Well, and look,
but he did go to a small college. It's not like this is
he went
the
to
guy who started at Indiana,
Purdue
and
Upstate
everyone
or
fell in love
something.
with.
But also, this is what Summer League is about. Like,
it absolutely is.
I'm like, as a Warrior fan, I'm like so into like Alan Smilajic. Oh yeah.
Oh, he's 18 years old.
He
looks 38. He shoots threes, kind of, and he fouls, and like he commits a foul every minute and a half. Yeah, let's see what he does.
So, what do you guys think about also another guy that like I feel like the Nylon Calculus analytics view favorably? The Grizzlies gave this offer sheet to Tyus Jones.
I like Tyus Jones.
So you like Tyus Jones? So the Grizzlies traded DeLon Wright to the Mavericks. This is funny. So I ran into Jason Wexler, who is the president of the Grizzlies. He was sitting with Chris Vernon and John Roser, and I kind of know John Roser. And I was like, hey, Roser. I'm like, oh, he's, and I went over and I met Jason Wexler, said, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. 30 seconds later was the Woj bomb for the DeLon Wright trade. I was like, why didn't you tell? We could have broken this.
Yeah.
But anyway.
If you scooped Woj, that would have been incredible.
It would have been big. But I didn't know how to feel about it because DeLon Wright signed for like a really reasonable contract. Mavs fans are super excited they get DeLon Wright. DeLon Wright, I think, is better than Tyus Jones. I feel like if Tyus Jones is your starter, you're like, hey, we're gonna need some points tonight. He's like, all right, cool. I got 8.
Yeah,
I give you 8 points.
Well,
like I've seen DeLon Wright. We're like, oh, we're terrible. You can shoot as much as you want. I've seen him get 20 points. I know he can score 20 points. So like.
I like the family, though. I'm
that's
biased because
fair.
But I like the Wrights too.
Well, that's what. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know the Jones family.
Well, the Warriors had a delightful out of nowhere, 2 years?
With Darrell Wright, yeah.
And that was great. And no, I just DeLon Wright is so much more fun, where I know that Tyus Jones is a useful basketball player and he's like one of your better options for backup point guard, but I just like the potential and like scoring.
Nate Duncan just walked past us.
Nate Duncan
and we froze.
We didn't know because Sean just pointed, and we were like, "What are we supposed to be saying?"
Oh yeah, sorry.
But Nate Duncan just
seeing Nate Duncan in the wild.
That was the closest Nate Duncan has ever been to being on Fast Break Breakfast.
That's great.
Just walked right past it.
But back to Tyus Jones, my general feeling is when it comes to like backup point guards.
But he might be the starter. Is the
Sure,
thing.
no, and
that's my.
But this is what I'm going to get to.
Okay.
Is you can tell how good a backup is by how much fans are demanding that they play. And Tyus Jones is like the leader of that pack.
Yeah, he's
in all
very
backups.
popular.
They were all so mad at Tibbs constantly.
Yeah, for
They were
Teague.
like, if you look at the numbers, that Tyus Jones should be starting
But that's
over
the thing. That's the
Teague.
thing. He's always like the plus minus the net rating. Like if you look at our net rating, our best lineup has Tyus Jones with the
Right.
starters.
But then you
I'm
watch
telling
him play.
When he
Yeah.
actually got chances to start, he did nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm just saying, I generally always like trading for the guy that the fan base wants.
That's true. We have that in Kyle Anderson, who Spurs fans were furious when he
he's
left.
been so great,
but
too.
he's also a guy who can't play with Tyus Jones because they don't shoot. Neither one of them will shoot the basketball.
Like, I'm good at everything else at basketball except shooting the basketball.
Yeah,
And
except-
I'm not really interested in that part of the game.
I think my final takeaway for the DeLon Wright thing was I think he is 1.5 second-round draft picks better than Tyus Jones.
All right, so that's all we got. Unfortunately, needless to say, what came after that was probably the most entertaining podcast you would have ever heard. Alas. Anyway, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for dealing with the field recording background noise. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. You can follow me on Twitter at FastBreakBreak as I tweet from Las Vegas. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fast break, man. You understand?